Coming up on April 28th, JJ Shiplett will be coming to the Lido. The Lido's been bringing some great country acts, and now we have another one that's coming our way. So JJ Shiplett is joining us on the line right now. Thanks so much for doing this, and I guess this is your first time to Fort St. John?
It's my first time in Fort St. John, yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about, because I like asking questions when you're a singer-songwriter, because obviously you're writing your own material, your own stories. But there is a story that I read before we get into your music about Johnny Reed. There was a tour that you had with Johnny Reed, but Johnny Reed came looking for you. So can you tell me a little bit about how that happened?
Yeah, a few years ago, I had sang on a ladies' record here in my hometown of Calgary, a girl named Joni Delorier, and I sang a song with her called Truce. And Johnny ended up hearing the song, and long story short, he found me, and a couple weeks later, I was in Nashville, staying at his house, and we started working on what turned out to be my debut record. And from that point on, I've been working with him. And 2 years ago, he did a tour called the What Love Is All About tour, and he brought me and the boys in the band along, and we had the privilege of hopping up on stage every night across Canada and singing with them.
Now, obviously, that was a huge thing because Johnny Reed, of course, big in country music, and having somebody like with his vocals even like kind of mentor you in a way, and your vocals, not too shabby yourself. So, I mean, having a tour where you have two really good singers together. So, I appreciate hearing stories about how artists kind of like find each other. It's not through record labels. It's just more of a less like, hey, I listened to you, I heard your performance, and I want you to be part of my show.
Yeah, like both of us got rather raspy voices, and maybe people don't know this, but usually when you have a raspy voice, it's because your voice is damaged.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, it's not good. So the nice thing about being on the road, I think we did 46, 47 dates or something like that. The nice thing about it was that he really helped me learn how to, over that long of a period of time, keep my vocals in check, keep them strong. So every night we could get out there and do it, like it's so easy to, when you're out on the road, to get caught up in all the fun that happens. But ultimately there's a job to do, and Johnny was really good at making sure every night I was able to get up there and sing.
Now, I wanted to ask you about your early time in music, because you've been in the music industry for quite some time. So how did that come about? Now, I heard that, wasn't it an uncle of yours that played in a country band?
Yeah, I had my Uncle Richard. He's from small town Saskatchewan, Weyburn, Saskatchewan. And he had a band for years called Wolf Creek. And, everybody's got cool uncles, and yeah. I got a few cool uncles, but my coolest one is my Uncle Richard. And I just wanted to be like him. When I was growing up, it was like, man, that guy is cool. I want to play guitar. That guy sings. I want to sing. So I'm pretty grateful to him. We're still close. I see him all the time. He comes to a ton of shows, and he's been a huge supporter of mine. And I'm pretty grateful to him.
Now, I guess besides your uncle being somewhat of an influence, what about other musicians who have influenced throughout your years? Like obviously with your uncle, then Johnny Reed. But what are some other artists that you've kind of been attached to as far as musically?
Well, I come from the sort of roots rock and roll world. I'm a big Tom Petty fan.
Right.
I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I'm a big Neil Young fan. So I come from that world where it's just kind of straight shooting songs that hopefully the listener and the audience are able to grab a hold of and take something away from them. So that's kind of my world. I was just listening to some Tom Petty before we hopped on the phone here together. So.
Oh, nice. Well, here's a question I wanted to ask you, because you've been in the music business for quite some time. So it's kind of like I wanted to ask how this felt. But as far as your first time you took a step back and looked at your career and thought to yourself, this is where I need to be. This is what it's all about. Do you remember that moment when that happened? Because every artist goes through that, where they go out to the big stage, you got a huge crowd in front of you, and then you kind of think to yourself, man, this is what I've been dreaming about doing. This is where I'm right exactly where I need to be.
I think it happens more often than not.
Okay.
Like there's been a few shows over the years that I've gone, this is it. This is what I'm made to be doing. This is what I want to be doing. Ultimately, a large part of it comes down to is I got a band of just unbelievable musicians, and they're all just my best pals. And it's one of those moments when, there's moments when we've been on the tour bus together and I'm going, these are the people that I want to be around. These are the people that I want to get up on stage and play with. And so I've had a few moments where I've been up on stage and been like, this is it. And then, but mostly it's you're reminded when you're, with the dudes, we got our van that we cruise around, and the band van we cruise around, and it's like, you hop in there and you just feel like this is it. This is what we're made to be doing. And so I feel pretty fortunate to the people I got around me, because they remind me every day that, like, hey, this is it. This is it.
Yeah, and when you look back at the career, I mean, you've when you start off in music, you're not really performing in front of 10,000 people. Like, sometimes you go to a pub or something, there's like 4 or 5 people. So the question I want to ask you is, every artist has maybe went through a situation like that. So with up and coming artists, what can you say to them to say, hey, listen, there's 2 people at tonight's show, there will be thousands down the road. What advice do you give them to make sure that they don't get discouraged from that?
Yeah, I've been in those moments so much. I like to think about it like, I'm not really quite ready to look back yet.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to look forward, see what I can do. But I've been there, man. I've played in front of nobody. I've played in front of more bar staff than patrons.
Yeah,
I've done all that, and the thing about it is that if this industry was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
So if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a songwriter, and you're out there, it's easy to get discouraged. I'm discouraged all the time. But if you're going to do it, you got to look past that stuff. You got to rock those 2 people and get to the next town and rock the next 2 people. So I kind of view it like I come from the train of thought where it's just like, if you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about it. Let's just do it.
And you know what? We're looking forward to hearing your music, of course, here. We've been playing, obviously, some of your songs on Moose FM. And I can tell you that there is a very good rock/country crowd here. So if you're looking for a rock out kind of crowd, country kind of crowd, this is definitely the place to come for that, because we appreciate the country and rock, and we're excited to have you here. I mean, we've obviously played your music. You got a great following, so the fact that you're coming here and that you put us on your schedule, that's awesome. So we're looking forward to seeing, as I mentioned at the beginning, lots of great country acts are coming our way. You're one of them, and we look forward to catching you on April 28th.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've got a good friend from up in Fort St. John, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and be a part of it. It's going to be a good night. It should be, hopefully it gets a little rowdy. It's a Saturday night, Fort St. John.
All right.
So I'm hoping it gets a little bit rowdy, but hopefully people can leave at the end of the night and feel like they grab something that they're a little richer from being a part of a night like that.